Hello everyone, welcome back to another wonderful science lesson on the P.O.D channel. My name is Desmond Amwa and today we are going to talk about electronic configuration of elements. So I want you to take your notepad, take your pen and sit down and watch this video to the end. Alright, so let's talk about the electronic configuration of elements. Electronic configuration simply means the arrangement of elements in the shells of an atom. And the electronic configuration of elements is important because it helps you to determine the period and the group of the elements and also the valency shell electrons, and also help you to determine whether the element is reactive or not. So let's look at the electronic configuration of some of the elements in the periodic table. From our previous lesson, we talked about the atomic structure. So let's revise on that. So we said that the atom has a central nucleus which contains protons, which are positively charged, and then neutrons, which has no charge. We also said that it contains electrons which are found on the shells. So the electrons are also negatively charged. So on the shells, we have the first shell, that's the K shell, the L shell, the M, and then the N shell. So we are going to base on that to write the electronic configuration. So the first shell, that is the K shell, the L shell, the M shell, and then the N shell. So we learned that the first shell takes a maximum of 2 electrons. The second shell takes a maximum of 8 electrons. The next shell takes a maximum of 18 electrons. But looking at the first 20 elements, it takes 8 electrons. And then the last electron, when you consider calcium, the 20th element, the last electron will be given to the last shell, that is the N shell, that's 2 electrons. So we are going to use this one to write the electronic configuration of some elements on the periodic table. So our first element, let's look at sodium. Sodium is the 11th element. So the atomic number of sodium is 11. So the atomic number of a neutral atom is equal to the number of electrons. So we are going to use the number of electrons to write its electronic configuration. So before you write the electronic configuration of the elements, you have to have a title. So electronic configuration of sodium. Then you underline it. So you draw it nicely. So the first shell, we are going to draw the first shell. So this is the nucleus and then the first shell. So sodium is having 11 electrons. So following the rules, the first shell takes 2 electrons. So we are going to represent the 2 electrons on the shells. The next shell, that is the K shell. The L shell, takes 8 electrons. So we have 10 electrons here, but left with 1 electron. So we are going to draw another shell, and then we represent that electron on that last shell. So giving us sodium having 2 electrons in the first shell, the 8 electrons, and then 1 electron in the last shell. So this is the electronic configuration of sodium. Let's pick another element. So let's pick magnesium. So magnesium is the 12th element on the periodic table. So its atomic number is 12, and the atomic number is equal to the number of electrons. So let's write our title. So electronic configuration of magnesium. So let's draw the atomic structure. So the first shell will take 2 electrons. The second shell will take 8 electrons. Then next shell, so let's see, we have how many electrons over here? That's 10 electrons. So magnesium is having a total of 12 electrons. So left with our 2 electrons. So represent that one on the last shell. So let's see the electronic configuration of magnesium is 2, 8, 2. So this is the electronic configuration of magnesium. The electronic configuration of an element helps us to determine the valency of the element. So let's talk about valency. So valency is the combining power of an element, and it is determined by the number of electrons in the outermost shell of the element. So let's look at sodium from here. You can see that the outermost is having 1 electron. So the valency of sodium is 1. If you look at the electronic configuration of magnesium, in the outermost shell there are 2 electrons in it. So the valency of magnesium is 2. So that is how we determine the valency of an element. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching to the end. Please make sure you like the video, you subscribe if you have not subscribed, and leave your comments and your suggestions at the comment section. Thank you.